Hashtag epic fail already. Okay, awesome. So top 3 fears are going to stop you from charging your worth. When is the right time to raise your prices, and what could currently be happening in your business to show you that it's time to raise your prices? The connection between money mindset and charging your worth, the 7 energetic blocks that are keeping you from making more money, and what to do about the money blocks that are affecting your business. So for those of you who don't know much about me, my name is Christine Corcoran, and I'm a business mindset coach obsessed with money mindset ever since I started diving into it and now helping my clients shift their money blocks. I'm so obsessed. So I've helped clients sell out their programs and workshops, raise their prices with confidence, and 6 times their businesses in less than 12 months. I've also tripled my own income in less than 12 months and have helped so many of my clients do the same. I'm a certified master coach in NLP, human behavior, and branding and hypnosis, and a leadership and executive coach. And what that means for you is that basically I'm obsessed with what makes us tick. I'm obsessed with actually shifting our blocks on a subconscious level. Anything that's basically stopping you from taking action, I've learned the strategies to be able to shift it on a subconscious level so that it no longer affects you. I'm obsessed with the brain and neuroscience. And so I've put all of this into this today. So do you feel like you're working a little bit too hard for the amount of money that you're getting paid, and you wish that you had the confidence to charge your worth and just be, this is the price, this is what I charge, and that be it? One of my clients was saying this to me last week, where she's like, I'm so freaking excited that I can feel so confident to be literally just like, this is the price, and not have to feel like I have to discount it, or not have to feel like I have to offer something extra to see that it's actually worthwhile, right? This is where we're really coming down to our worth, our self-worth. So I've got some people jumping in. I just need to let them in or change it so then they can just jump in. I think they all came in. Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. All right. So if this is you, then you're definitely in the right place. Yeah, so Michelle said she's certainly getting there, have been working on it a lot lately. Amazing. So recently had a price increase. Well done. That's amazing. And Faye said yes. And Elaine's yes. Okay, amazing. So you're definitely in the right place. You're also in the right place if you think that every time you think about raising your prices, you go into a spiral of fear or self-doubt, or you talk yourself out of actually doing it. Maybe you'd like to be more confidently to share your prices without doubting yourself or your value or your worth. Or maybe you're pretty good with money, but you feel like you'd like to be more deserving or feel more deserving of earning more and be able to take it to the next level and push through any ceiling of, money threshold or ceiling. Amazing. Oh, okay. So Nancy just said that she's updated her prices and services, but she hasn't told anybody about them. Well, hopefully by the end of today's session, you'll be able to feel more confident sharing them. Amazing. So what I want you to know is that money mindset underpins all of this. When you work on your money mindset, your fears and your beliefs, you shift all the doubt and fear about charging more, earning more, and impacting more people. And that's what I really want for you. So let's dive first into the top 3 fears that are currently stopping you, that could be currently stopping you from charging your worth. The first one is the fear of judgment and rejection. So when we think about raising our prices, we're really concerned with what people might say. We're concerned that we might be told no, or we will get rejected when we put those prices out there. We may fear meeting their expectations at that price level. We may fear people telling us that it's too expensive. So if this is you, definitely let me know in the chat box, hey? The next one is not feeling good enough. So we fear that people may not see the value in what it is that we do. We may fear that we'll be seen as underqualified, inexperienced, or we doubt that we'll be able to create the result that they expect or that they'll like. We doubt our skills or our abilities. Or maybe it's that we actually don't believe that we deserve to have what we want. This is a really common one, and it's really quite sad. And I say sad because it's absolutely, and I'm going to hopefully shift this for you today, that there's no such thing as not deserving. Everyone is born deserving. And the last one here is our money fears. So if we have a current bad relationship with money, then making more, obviously, or asking people to pay us is going to cause us to sabotage it or cause us to basically stop doing that because we don't want to step into a place of fear. Or maybe that we don't want to seem salesy or pushy, or maybe that we have some limiting money beliefs, which are actually causing us to sabotage that next level of growth. Or maybe we feel really awkward talking about money. That's when the money fears come into play. So we're actually going to be covering off all 3 today because I really want to dive in to support you in allowing you to push through this, because it's all entwined, right? It's not just one piece, it's all intertwined. So yeah, so it's really interesting. So Faye said she feels that telling people I'm too expensive, although I'm a luxury brand, right? Like, so we have these belief systems around what luxury means. And this will be really interesting as we go through this. And so Michelle said, stuck in the not good enough column for sure. Yeah, so value was a big one for me. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so it'll be really interesting to see what perspective we take on this as we go through. So let's first talk about judgment and rejection. So firstly, I want you to know that your worth is not determined by your prices. What you charge has nothing to do with your worth. What you're earning has nothing to do with your worth. What you've achieved, your accomplishments, what you tell yourself about your labels that you've given yourself has nothing to do with your prices or your worth, has nothing to do with it, right? But we get stuck in that place of fear of judgment because we're attaching it to our worth. We're basically saying that then if someone says no to me, they're actually saying no to me as a person, not my business or not the product that I'm or service that I'm offering. They're actually judging myself, me as a person, when they're judging my business, when it's actually not the case. We need to learn to actually disconnect our business from who we are, right? Because our business, we are not our business. It's not us. Our business is a separate entity to who we are. But if we continue to call our business our baby, or we continue to basically tell ourselves that our business is us, like we're attaching our worth and our worthiness to our business, which is always going to cause us to get stuck in fear and in judgment and rejection, because we're not able to see it as something separate. When we separate it, we're able to see the business or a product or service or whatever it is that we're selling as a separate entity that has its own criteria and own systems and own, good things and bad things about it. And we're able to separate that judgment from who we are. And it's really key that you do this, because you are not your business. And if we allow to that belief system to continue to play out, we will always get affected by the fear and judgment of the rejection, right? Because we'll always be putting ourselves in this place of being actually judged personally, but it's not you as a person, right? So it can be so hard. Yes. So Elaine said, hard to change so much when you come from a super duper working class family. Yes, absolutely. I'm exactly the same. My family, I come from a family of farmers. They work their ass off, right? They work so hard. And so we attach our worth to how hard we work. We attach our worth to what we achieve. Like all of these things are attached to it. But I want you to know that it has nothing to do with your worth. Your worth is inherent. You were born deserving. You were absolutely born deserving. But then we're conditioned for years and years, and we're still currently being conditioned by society, by marketing, by advertising, that we're not enough and we're not deserving of what it is that we want. We're constantly being fed this message. And if we don't take that control back and decide that, hang on a minute, I don't want to believe that anymore. I want to decide to actually believe that I am worthy and I am more deserving. Like, what makes someone deserving or undeserving, right? When you actually ask yourself that question, what makes someone more or less deserving? Yeah, you're so right, Elaine. Like, we've become sheep, and it's not actually a bad thing. And it's not like I don't want to judge. We don't want to bring in judgment to this, because judgment on top of judgment just adds another layer of judgment, doesn't support us. But we really want to let you be aware that we don't have to believe everything that we're told. And look, the non-deserving story and the unworthiness story works really well for marketing and advertising, right? It works so well for them, because it's like, you should buy this lipstick because you will be more accepted if you're in fashion. You should wear these clothes because you'll be more loved and you'll be more deserving and more worthy of the accolades because you look the part. You will be more deserving if you achieve all of these things. You get the car, you get the house, you get the money, like all of these things we're attaching to our worth. And the thing is, we've really got to come to a place of really deciding that we were already born deserving. And now for the mums in the room, I want to ask you a question. When your babies were born, did you look at them and think, when you get older, you're not going to deserve to earn as much money as you want? Those things that you want, you're not really deserving of those. We would never say that to a child that's just been born into this world. But yet we tell ourselves that all the time, and we absorb all of the conditioning that we're constantly told about in society about not being worthy enough. And I know it's hard, because with repetition, we're obviously changing belief systems. So we constantly are taking on board that message. But I want you to start to decide now, today, that you're not going to believe it anymore, because you were already born deserving. Right. So Abby said, heck no, I think he deserves the world. Absolutely, he deserves the world. Right. But so do you. And you've got to start believing it as well. So when is the right time to start raising your prices? So let's just start to notice if any of these things are currently happening in your life or business right now. So is it that you've started to become a little bit resentful towards the work that you're doing? You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, do I have to do this? Or is it that you're starting to resent the clients that you're working with because they don't see your value, they don't respect your time, when it's actually because you haven't demanded that they respect you, your time, your value, your worth? Because maybe, or maybe you're feeling underappreciated or undervalued. That's a really good sign that we're either not charging our worth and it's time to raise our prices. The next one is we realize that our prices that we're currently charging aren't sustainable. It's not profitable. And that if we continue to work at this rate, we're going to like honestly burn out or get to a point where our business will have to close. Right? That does not serve you. It does not serve your clients. So it's time to raise your prices. Well, the third one is that you start to notice your either clients or customers don't value what you do by not showing up late. They cancel or reschedule appointments last minute, or they're not doing the work that's required. They're not getting back to you with what it is that you need to be able to do a really good job, or they're not showing up for their appointments and doing the work that you're asking them to do. If those things are happening, it means that there's not enough skin in the game, right? They don't value it enough to actually do the work. So there's two things that could be happening. Either the value outweighs the investment and they don't value it because they actually haven't got enough skin in the game, or the investment isn't high enough, right? So you need to decide what's going to happen here. You either continue to just charge the prices you're at right now and continue to have these same things happen, or choose to stand in your power and charge your worth and start to demand that they respect it, right? And you don't have to do this from a place of aggressiveness or anger or anything like that. So I'm going to share with you how we do that. So I'm going to share with you another analogy that I love to use called the grocery shop analogy. And so anything that basically the amount of money that you spend on your groceries per week is usually an amount of money that you would normally just throw away. You don't really think about it. You don't take a moment to really decide, should I spend money on this, right? So usually with that amount of money, people are quite flippant with it depending on it. So thinking from your ideal client's perspective, how much money do they quite easily just throw away on their groceries each week? Now, if your service is below that, they're probably not going to value it as much because they haven't actually taken the time to decide, is this the right fit for me? Do I want to invest in this? Right? So they're already coming from a place of, they're really not even thinking about it. They're not acknowledging it. They're literally just like, here's my money, right? So if it's below the grocery line list, if it's above, they actually stop and question, okay, do I want to invest in this? And that's all we want to decide. Okay, where do we want to sit in the market? Because where we place ourselves is where the types of clients we will receive. And I want you to know, your client is not investing in you. Remember that we got to disconnect ourselves from our business. Your client is not investing in you. They're investing in themselves. They're investing in their future. They're investing in a certain outcome. They're investing in their business. I really want you to get this, right? Your client isn't investing in you. They're investing in themselves. It's never about you. They're always going to make the decision based on their needs and what they need. And the good thing about that is it's also recognizing where the judgment might be coming from, because the judgment isn't about you. It's not that they don't like you. It's that maybe the service or product doesn't fit their needs. It's not the right thing for them. And that's okay, right? So when we're able to see it from that perspective, it's like, okay, cool. Let's find clients that really do value what it is that you do. Awesome, Elaine. I'm so glad that that has landed for you. This was a big one for me to get as well, because it's like, hang on a minute, like because we can so attach it to our worth so much that we really get affected by those no's. Whereas when we start to disconnect it and go, okay, so what am I not doing that's the right fit for them? Or how can I change the way that I communicate it? How can I, reshape the package or the offer or whatever it is that I'm doing? Or is it the marketing plan that's not reaching the right people? Like we start to look at it from a different perspective and not make it about you. And that's actually a much more focused on growth mindset and helps you to take action to move forward rather than getting stuck in that fear and place of rejection and judgment and negative emotion. Awesome. So the one thing that's really important for you to get before we dive into the self-worth element is that you have got to believe in your value before anyone else will. You have got to believe in your value before anyone else will. No one else is going to come and tell you that it's amazing. And you need, they are if you do a really great job, but you need to decide to believe it first, right? Because if you believe that it is amazing and that it's worth what you're selling, then it will absolutely attract the right clients that will value what you do and will honor and respect what it is that you do, right? And they're willing to pay the prices that you're wanting to charge, right? So you've got to decide today that you've got to believe in the value. So what do you need to do to believe that? So this is where the way that I like to suggest with my clients when you think about raising your prices. Obviously, I'm not an accountant. I'm not telling you profitability or anything like that. So if that's where you're at the moment, I would suggest you actually go sit down with your accountant and work out your profitability, because that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the mindset element, because if you don't believe in what you charge, you will sabotage it. So we're either sitting at a place where we're down the bottom here, where we're literally like, I'm resenting the work at the price that I'm currently charging. And pretty quickly, it's going to be very unsustainable, right? So it's like this low price, but I'm thinking that I have to be here because this is what people will pay. There is absolutely a market out there for whatever it is you want to charge. The reason why BMW does so well is because if people want BMWs and they want to spend that amount of money on a quality car, right? There's still a market for Hyundai that have great cars, but they're at a lower price, a lower value, right? Lower quality. There is a market for whatever it is that you're offering. You've just got to find that market once you decide what you want to charge. So then there's the next level up from there is that I believe that it's worth this amount, right? Then there's either a next level, the 2 levels up, where it's like too high, where you get this emotional and bodily response of like, oh, I can't charge that, right? Which we're going to get into in a minute. And then the one below it, where I suggest that you sit, is it's above, like, yes, it's definitely worth this, but if I go to this level, I better deliver, right? It keeps you on your toes and keeps you actually delivering a really high quality product or service that's going to support you creating raving fans. So this is where I always suggest with my clients is like, okay, where are you currently sitting? If this is unsustainable, what do you believe it's worth? What would you like to be charging? And what's that next little tier up that's like, oh shit, I better deliver, okay? And the thing is that you've got to decide that you believe in what you charge, because otherwise you will sabotage it. Because if you have other people telling you, oh, no, you should be charging $2,000 for this. No, you should be charging $4,000. But internally, your bodily response is like, oh, no, I could never charge that. You will sabotage it. It'll come across in the way that you speak about it. The energy that you put into it won't land with your clients. You will literally have crickets because you're not giving the certainty that the energy needs to deliver that value, to actually believe that it's worthy of that and that people will pay it. You've got to believe in it first. Yeah. Let me know if this is resonating. It's so important that we come to this place, because sometimes people will say, you may listen to other people that are like, oh no, you should be charging this amount. But if you are not there yet, then you've either got to work on your mindset to get there, or you've got to start where you do believe and start to build evidence of where you actually can charge. Because sometimes we're getting to a place of like, well, I know that I can charge this because people have paid it in the past. So I have evidence in my brain to prove that works, right? And it's safe there. So when I raise the prices, it's like we get stuck in this place of fear because we're like, oh, because we don't have any evidence that people have paid it yet, right? So once we get the evidence at that level, then we are like, oh, of course people are going to pay this because they've paid it in the past, right? So we've either got to build the evidence bank or we've got to work on the mindset blocks to actually get you there. Amazing. So glad this is resonating. All right, let's keep going. So raising your prices. So firstly, decide when you're going to raise your prices. Decide on the date that you're going to raise them, because often, and I'll tell you about a client about this in a little bit, but often we will basically say to ourselves, oh, yeah, I'll raise them in 6 months' time or in next year, right? So we put it so far out into the future that we feel like, oh, I'll be ready then. No, you're ready now, right? So I always tell my clients, bring it closer. You are ready closer, right? So you need to decide when to raise your prices and decide on the date that you want to change. When communicating it with your customers, please don't apologize. Saying sorry means that you've done something wrong. This is not something that you're doing that's wrong, okay? Notice that everyone puts up their prices at different times in their business. We have to. It's inflation. You must put your prices up or else you're always going to be going backwards, right? The next thing is, don't give excuses or reasons for the price increase. You do not need to explain yourself, because every time you do that, you're trying to prove your worthiness. You're trying to prove your value. Whereas if they already see the value in what it is that you do, they won't even blink an eye at the price increase. And you want to make it about your clients or customers. How is it going to benefit them? Because they're always going to come from a perspective of how does this affect me and what's in it for me? So you may want to share it from the place of, from the 1st of April, my prices are going to increase to this. Your services will be now at this level. And the reason for this is I want to be able to deliver the highest level of quality service for you. And for me to be able to do that, we provide this, and this to enhance your experience, right? So we want to speak to that. So it's always in their best interests, and let them know what to expect, when the price increase is going to happen, how it's going to show up for them. So really getting really clear on it. I would literally say that, Elaine. So why what would you say? So Elaine's just asked a question. What would you say? Why are you putting your prices up? Right? So I would explain. So for me to be able to continue doing such a great service, as you know, everything has inflation. Every year, electricity goes up. Every year, water goes up. Everything that you do has a price increase. And for me to be able to continue to deliver the service at this level, the prices need to increase, right? And if they respond and in a not so nice way, they're most likely not your clients, right? So it's okay if you lose a couple. I know that's really scary, but I guarantee you, when you start to raise your prices and stand in your power and own your worth, you will attract the right clients that won't even blink an eye. They will literally be like, okay, that's the price. Great. I will pay tomorrow, or I'll pay up front. I'll pay now. Like there's never any issue when you're actually marketing to the right people and you're owning your worth from an energetic perspective, right? Awesome. So glad that helped. Amazing. Okay, so there's two different things that I want to mention too today is that often when it comes to raising our prices, there's two different stances often many of us can take. And coming from like a service provider and wanting to give lots of value, then this may really resonate with you. So firstly, when we think about us, setting our prices or raising our prices, we judge from our own financial position or value proposition. And this is what this might sound like. This comes easy to me. I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing and it's easy for me. So how could I charge more? How can I charge this much? Or it could be that, well, I wouldn't spend this much on this. So why would anybody else? Or I think someone was mentioning this before around the luxury piece. I don't have the money to spend on such a luxury. So why would anybody else? So we're judging it from our perspective, our current situation. And this is where we need to start to shift it from actually judging it from our client's perspective, because the reason they're coming to you is because they can't do it themselves. The reason they're coming to you is because they value what it is that you do, because they don't find it that it comes naturally to them, right? I don't like copywriting. I would rather pay someone to do copywriting than spend hours and hours worrying about it, right? So I value that. But for someone else, they might not value spending money in that area because they find it easy and it comes naturally to them, yeah? So really just recognize where you're judging the price increase. So if you're putting yourself in, if you're judging it from your financial position, you're actually not judging it from where you need to see the business as a separate entity, right? So what does this business provide? What value does it deliver? And how is this supporting the client to get to a certain outcome or result? And that's when you'll see the value. The second one is, so Michelle just said, there are amazing clients out there. I've had clients that tell me they won't book until I've raised my prices. Love it. I literally said this to someone the other day that does, she does decorations for my events. And I'm like, she does an amazing job. And I just leave it in her hands. I'm like, I don't even want to think about it. You just do it. And every single time it's amazing. And I said to her last week, you need to put your prices up. You're undercharging, right? So your clients who value what you do will absolutely be saying those types of things to you. The next one is, I always put myself in my clients' shoes. So I think, can they afford it? What's their budget? And then I work around their budget, which is, again, actually coming from a place of judgment. And I just want you to recognize where this could be stopping you from actually charging your worth, because you're judging it from the wrong perspective. Now, have you ever been to a store that maybe is out of your price range and you've been judged for not being able to afford something in there? I went on a huge trip to the States with one of my best friends, and she saved, in the whole time that we were planning for this trip, she saved all of her pennies because she wanted to buy a Chanel handbag. And she had saved 4,000 Australian dollars to buy this Chanel handbag because she really wanted to buy it in this Manhattan store and have the amazing experience. It was so important to her. And she was buying it for actually an heirloom because she's like, one day I'm going to give it to my daughter. And I love that I'm sharing this story today because she literally had her first baby this morning. I got a message this morning. Crazy. Right. And so what reason why I'm telling you this is because she saved all the money. She had the money. She was ready to buy. And she walked into that store. We both walked into that store together. And you know what happened? They judged us. They did not talk to us. They literally walked and spoke to everybody else except us. We waited for 45 minutes before anyone would actually serve us. And we were ready to buy, right? So they were judging us based on what they believed we could and can't afford. This is where you're putting yourself in a place of actually starting to discount your own value because you're judging it from their budget, which is actually not up to you. You don't get to choose what they spend their money on. You don't get to choose or decide for them what they see as valuable and what they want to spend their money on, yeah? So really important that you start to shift away from this mindset and then instead focus on these last three questions. You may want to screenshot this for yourself for later. How can they afford not to buy your product or service? And really ask yourself that question. What is it going to cost them if they don't buy, right? What's the long-term impact of working with you? If you haven't sat down and really worked that out, then you're often actually going to keep yourself stuck in this place of deciding like you're stuck in the time versus money trap, or you cause yourself to actually look at it from this perspective right here, right now. And the last one is, what does it ultimately give them? And usually it's an emotional state that they're really searching for, that your product or service will give them. And if you're like, if your brain's literally sitting here going, oh, no, I just create websites. Like, no. Like the outcome of that is what? Like, I know the value of my work is freaking beyond the 12 weeks that I work with my clients, right? My one-on-one clients, we 12 weeks we work together. It's not just the short-term impact of that work. I know that when I see them celebrate their wins 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the track, I know that it has something to do with the work that we've done together, because we've shifted deep mindset blocks that have been keeping them stuck for years. And now they've released that, so much more can happen. So I want you to uncover that for yourself. And I guarantee you, no matter what it is, like even if it's like, Faye, like I know you have a hairdressing salon, like how does that make your clients feel? And go beyond that. What impact does that have on their life, right? I always look at it from every perspective. So what impact does it have on their career? What impact does it have on their finances in a positive way? What impact does it have on their health, right? It makes them feel good so they actually want to go work out. I start to think about it from all different perspectives of their lifestyle and look at the full term impact, because you need to start seeing the value before they will. So what do you need to believe about your product or service to see the value? So this is where I would start to, make some notes on what are some of the things that you really need to see to believe that the value that you offer is there. Awesome. So does it have to have a positive impact? Does it have to have a specific ROI for you to see the value? Does it need to create a change or a shift or a specific result? So start getting really clear on what it is that your product or service actually creates. And what would you need to believe for you to be able to charge more? So if I said to you tomorrow, you're going to put your prices up by $2,000, right? Just notice the reaction your brain has and your body has when I say that. If you had to put your prices up at $2,000, what would you need to believe about it for it to be okay to charge that for you, right? Do you need to have certain beliefs about your skills or abilities? Do you need to believe that it's possible for you and safe for you to be able to have that level of success? Do you have to believe that it's not actually your money and they're investing in themselves or an outcome and not specifically you? Do you need to be confident in the result that you create? Do you need to believe that someone would actually pay that, right? So go out and find the evidence to prove that that's true. Do you need to believe that you are worthy of charging more? You can decide that today, right? And recognize if you're already doing all of these things, then is the guilt that you're experiencing, and you may not be feeling the guilt, but if you are, it may just actually be nothing to do with what it is that you're doing, but it's a byproduct of past experiences or societal conditioning that you haven't released. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep, but it could often be the guilt that we actually hold from other things that has nothing to do with what it is that you're doing here with your business. All right, so let's dive into the 7 energetic blocks that are keeping you from making more money. I'm going to talk fast, but you're going to need to listen fast because I've got a lot to go through. All right, so 7 energetic blocks that are stopping you from currently making more money. First one, you don't believe in the possibility. This is huge, right? So often this will happen where we get stuck in comparison and we will see other people achieve certain level of success and then go, oh, well, that's okay for them, but not for me. Or look at them, they're having it and that means it's not available to me, right? Or maybe you haven't earned it in the past, maybe you haven't experienced that in the past, so you think that others may have it easier or that they know something that you don't. They don't. They just believe that it's possible. You need to believe in the possibility of making more money because it's out there and it's ready to be received. Next one is believing that you have to work hard to earn money. This is a huge mindset block that a lot of my clients struggle through because we're a product of our generation. Our parents usually, but depending on how old you are, did actually work extremely hard. They were in factories. They really, they literally, the labor they had to put into play to earn their money and work really hard was true for them. But they passed on that belief system down to us, and then we continue to believe it, and then it continues to play out in our lives. And the other thing that I want to mention about this is the opposite belief that this creates. So the brain deduces an opposite belief with everything that we create in our minds. So if we believe that we have to work hard to earn money, the opposite belief is that if I'm not working hard, then I don't deserve it, right? If this is you, let me know, because often then what will play out is that we work ourselves into the ground we burn out, we feel like we can't take a break, we can't rest, and we're constantly feeling like we're having to prove our worthiness. If we work hard, then it's worthwhile, right? We work hard and we have to actually allow ourselves to then decide whether we deserve it or not, because have I worked hard enough for this? And once you shift this belief, oh my God, it's such a relief to be like, actually, do I want to work this hard? No, well, you don't have to then. You can still earn money and not have to work your guts out to receive it. Yeah, so some of you are on there. Yeah, absolutely right. Because we're a product of our generation. The next one is exchanging time for money. If we're caught in the money trap of thinking about what do I charge per hour, what do I charge per minute, then we're always going to be exchanging time for money, right? Whereas what we need to do is actually shift it. We're exchanging value for money. What is the value that you bring? What is the result that you create? What is the outcome that you create? That's what people are paying for. And that's what money can be exchanged for. Money is always being exchanged for value. So what value do you bring? The next one is you're possibly deflecting abundance already in its existing forms, right? So this is where we struggle to receive compliments. We struggle to receive in any other type of way, right? We struggle to receive help. We struggle to receive compliments, feedback. All of these times we're actually deflecting abundance. It's coming to us in other energies, not just money, in other energies like opportunities. Like if we're already deflecting it and pushing it away, like we receive feedback or compliments, and we're like, oh no, that wasn't me. Oh no, that's just no. Like we're constantly deflecting it. We're basically telling the universe that no, I've got enough. I don't need any more. Right? We're not opening ourselves up to the abundance that's available to us. The next one is that we don't believe that we deserve to earn more money. Now, this is a real challenging one because it's really connected to our worth. But I want you to know, like I was saying before, it's about the deservedness is actually just conditioning. It's got nothing to do with your worth. You already are deserving. But if we believe that we don't deserve it, then we will absolutely sabotage it and we will throw money away. We'll continue to push it away, and then not being able to receive it because we don't believe we're worthy of it, right? So if we're able to shift that belief system, you'll be able to receive money and know that you absolutely are allowed to receive it and you are worthy of receiving it. And I mean, what makes someone deserving or not deserving? Like we talked about with babies, like no one is undeserving. The next one is that you don't believe in the value that you have to offer, which we've really covered, and really think about from the perspective of it's not from your perspective, it's from your client's perspective. How do they see the value in what it is that you do? And if you're able to communicate that, your clients will see the value in what you do. The next one is, and the last one is, believing money is yours to own. Money is an energy that we circulate for value. And if we believe that we own it, we will hold on to it with desperation and with need. And no energy likes to be around desperation and need, do they? Right? It's a relationship that we have with money. So if you were with a partner and you were desperately needed them, right? How annoyed would they get pretty quickly? They would be just like, get away from me, stop being so needy, right? It's the same thing with money. If we believe that it's ours to own, we will hold on to it with like fists clenched and won't be able to circulate it. And the other thing is really key to believe here is that when someone is paying you, often we will believe that we're taking it from someone, which then means that we're leaving them with less. That's not the case. There is abundance available to absolutely everybody. And by you're exchanging it for value, right? So they're giving you money and you're giving them something in exchange for value, right? It's always circulating. You never actually own it. Yes, it's in your bank account, but it's absolutely something that can be passed around, right? And it's not something that stays there forever. And you can't take it with you, FYI. Yeah. Okay. So Andrew said number 6 really resonates. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Right. So now let's talk a little bit more about money blocks. So underlying all of these energetic blocks is the way that we feel about money. So our energy towards money. The money energy is made up of our belief systems, our emotions, so our emotional blocks around money, which we're going to talk about in a second, and your money actions, how you treat it, the relationship that you have with it, how you interact with it on a daily basis, how you talk about it, right? When we're talking negatively about it, it's not going to want to spend more time with you. So our money, if our money energy is out of alignment, we will sabotage it. So I want you to recognize if any of these current behaviors are happening in your life. And I want you to be mindful that you're not judging yourself, just having a curiosity and awareness to be like, oh, isn't that interesting? That this is why this is happening in my business, because we want to uncover why that might be. So maybe we're undercharging or discounting. Maybe we're offering free services. Maybe we're feeling stuck at a certain income level. Maybe we're struggling to hold on to money and that bills come out of nowhere. And it's like literally like money comes in and goes out, money comes in and goes out. Maybe we're avoiding money at all costs, right? We don't have any responsibility when it comes to our finances and we don't even want to look at it. Maybe we have a belief system around not being good with money so that we'd rather let someone else deal with it. Maybe we're over generous and we're constantly giving, but never actually allowing ourselves to receive. Maybe we're overspending. Maybe we have some debt issues. Maybe we're stuck on that income roller coaster. Anybody experience that? Yeah. And it's honestly, it comes down to our self-worth and our self-belief and our money beliefs about it always being available to you. And the last one is our inability to receive money with ease. So I want you to start to notice what is the feeling as you start to read through these and which ones are resonating with you, because once you're starting to unlock which ones are actually showing up for you, you're able to shift it on such a deeper level. So often underlying some of these behaviors are some common money beliefs like these. You have to work hard to earn money, like we talked about, that wealthy people or rich people have either done something untoward to get to where they are, or they're greedy, or that they, are not nice people. Like when we have judgments towards rich people, we think more money, more problems is going to, that we're not going to be able to handle the responsibility that more money will bring. And we think that more money is going to literally cause more problems in our lives. And often, more money means you've got more options. The next one is you can't have love and money. So if you love what you do, you can't be paid well for it. A lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs really struggle with this because we think that, well, I love it, so I should want to give it as the gift of contributing. But you can't continue to give unless you're being paid well for it. It's not sustainable. And the next one is money doesn't grow on trees, which ultimately then means that there's not enough to go around, which isn't true. The fact that there is plenty of grass, like we don't count the blades of grass and think, oh, they're going to run out. No, it's the same with money. Like there's like 19, I haven't Googled it today, but you can Google this. There's like $19 trillion being circulated on the planet every single day, right? Again, you're not taking it from anybody else. It's available to you when you're in the right energy alignment towards it. And the next one is the money is the root of all evil. So to love money is evil, which again, if we're having judgments on it, it's just an energy. It's actually got nothing to do with money being good or evil. So mine is that I can't be happy and wealthy at the same time, right? Isn't that interesting? Right? Really curious that where that might have come from, Michelle, right? Who said? What wouldn't more money make you more happy because you'd be able to do whatever you want and stop stressing about money, right? We want to start to question these belief systems. The way you feel about money is currently affecting your ability to earn, attract, and hold onto money and be able to circulate it. So we're going to test our threshold. So firstly, we're going to test your scarcity and we're going to test your wealth threshold. So what I want you to do for the moment is pop anything out of your hands and we're going to just check in because our body will always tell us what's going on for us. So what I want you to do is take anything out of your hands and I want you to close your eyes down just for literally it's like a couple of seconds, right? I'm not going to take you through any deep process or anything right now. So when you're closing your eyes down, at what point, like if you're thinking about your money in your bank account, at what point, if it was to dip below a certain number, do you feel like you go into a scarcity mindset? So you go into freaking out about where money's going to come from. You're worried about money. It causes you to get stuck in that lack mindset. So I want you to write that down. What's the amount? Okay. And now we're going to test your wealth threshold. Now your wealth threshold is where you believe you're safe at earning a certain amount of money. So what you want to do is now everyone, I want you to think about it from your perspective of where you would look at money because everyone's different. So whether it's invoicing, whether it's amount of money sitting in your bank account, whether it's your tax return, like wherever you normally look at your amount of money. So again, closing your eyes down one more time. And I'm going to go through a few numbers and I want you to notice what's the internal response that you have to that certain number. So let's say $100, $500, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, 2,000. No judgment here. So no matter where you get to, just stop and make a note whenever you get to that stage where you get an emotional response and just write down what your brain says or what emotions come up. $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, $80,000, $100,000, $120,000, $150,000, $250,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. Now it's hard for me to tell because not everyone has their cameras on. So I'm not sure if everyone hasn't gotten to there, but you can test this yourself, but just start to run through those numbers and notice, when do you get an emotional response? When does your body go, oh, that doesn't feel okay? Or like it usually will get some type of bodily response that makes us feel uncomfortable or makes us, have the inner chatter start to happen where it's like, oh, no, you can't have that. Or that's a bit much. Or that's too, like, what am I going to do with that? Like we start to go into those freak out modes. So I want you to notice that's your threshold. So until you move through that threshold, that is literally where you will sit. So one of my mentors had this threshold where she actually had a 60K threshold that constantly played out in her business for years. And so what she recognized, it was, I think it was like 3 years in a row, she would get to, sit down with her accountant and work through her tax return. And every single year she hit 60K. And she was like, what the hell keeps happening? I feel like I was busier this year. I feel like I did more. And I increased my prices even. And every single time she hit 60 and she realized that, hang on a minute, this is a pattern. What is going on? Where's this pattern come from? And she realized that in her previous job, in her corporate role, she was only ever paid around the $62,000 mark. And so she had proof from the evidence from the past to prove that she was worthy of earning that amount because someone else paid her that amount of money consistently, right? So that she had a belief system around being able to earn more and that she had this threshold at 60K. So once we worked through those mindset blocks and shifted all of that, she was able to push past the 60K mark. And then it came up again at the 100K mark because she had these belief systems around, the tax threshold that I'm going to have to go into now once I've hit 100K. So there's all these belief systems around it. And the thing is, we don't necessarily know it. Sometimes we notice the behaviors first, but it's a self-sabotaging things that happen that cause us to play small or play at that level. And we don't realize it until the result is showing in our lives. Okay, so Nancy said, for me, the response is different. If visualizing sending an invoice versus visualizing my bank account. Yeah, so it could be two different elements. So it could be like what you believe you're worth in regards to charging. So it's like, I can't charge more than that. Or it could be how much do I feel safe having in my bank account. So you could have two different thresholds there, but just start to notice that. Yeah, so Abby said it was interesting because you went through the numbers. I felt almost panicky, maybe feeling not worthy of earning a decent amount of money. Yeah, right. So it's like, what belief systems, what is your brain telling you about not being able to earn that amount of money, right? So what you want to do is actually unpack all of that and start to shift it and work through it because that's going to help you then scale to that next level. Awesome. So all of this stems from a lack or scarcity mindset. So once we shift our money mindset blocks from scarcity to abundance, everything changes. We start to not feel like we have to prove ourselves every time that we charge. We start to be able to welcome money in such magical, really unique ways. It's so interesting. So Michelle said, wow, that was an emotional exercise. Yeah, I stopped listening after a certain amount because it didn't exist to me. Isn't that interesting, right? Like we're like, well, that's not available to me. Who said, right? Right. Amazing. So yes, working through that is going to be a game changer for you for sure. Amazing. So good. So I want to tell you a little bit about Bex. Bex, one of my clients, and when she came to me, she was running on empty. She didn't know how to help her business progress. She was so fearful of raising her prices. Like she would literally be like, no, I don't think I can because I would lose my clients. And I was like, cool. How many clients could you possibly lose once we've raised the prices and it wouldn't make your business any different? Right. And we started to look at it from a different perspective. And so she realized that something had to change because she was literally just surviving. She was working herself into the ground and struggling to delegate anything to her staff. And she knew something had to change. She actually had really big dreams for her business, but she was so hesitant to share them with anybody because she was literally like, I don't think that they're possible for me, but I'm not going to tell anybody because then I don't want to get disappointed if they don't happen. Right. All connected to self-worth. So we shifted her money mindset blocks. We worked on her self-worth and being able to charge and raise her prices. She was able to increase her prices and start actually paying herself a wage. Like when she came to me, I was like, how are you not even paying yourself a wage? Like so unsustainable. Anyway, she then was able to have a 13K launch with an existing service that we just raised the prices to. She then launched a new high-end service and had 6 people take it up straight away. And within 3 weeks of actually doing that service, she came back to me and she was like, oh, I'm way undercharging. And just that mindset shift, I was just like, yes, this is amazing. And then from doing that, from seeing her worth and the value that she offered, she was able to show up as a completely different person to her team and was able to, you know, create a culture in her business that she was really proud of. Otherwise, she kept trying to prove that, is it okay that I ask you to do this? Like there was this constant play of self-worth issues that kept coming up. And so shifting it, she was able to then welcome money in all different places and create new services that she had actually blocked off. So often when we're stuck in these mindset blocks, we have this tunnel vision and we can't see other opportunities. But when we shift it, we open ourselves up to so much more possibility. So I want you to know that you are so worthy of earning so much more money. And it's all about our belief systems. You just have to believe that it's possible. So even if you just start there, start to believe that it's possible. And when you start to see other people achieving it, it's actually a representation of what's available to you, right? It's coming your way. That is the universe saying, hey, this is here. It's ready for you. Are you ready for it? You've just got to align with it and work on your money energy to get it to that stage. So you showed up to this masterclass today because you know that you want to take it to the next level. And to do that, you're going to have to work on your money blocks. I know that you want to charge your worth and you want to be able to stop doubting yourself or your skills and even doubting that people will actually pay it. There are people out there that are willing to pay whatever it is that you want to charge, but you've got to believe in it first. And I know that you want to increase your prices and feel confident about sharing them with your dream clients. So today I've shown you that your worth does not equal your prices. What you charge isn't about you. It's about your clients, right? And we come back to that place of knowing that it's about your clients, not you. That you've got to believe in your value before anybody else will. And to feel confident to charge your worth, you've got to shift your beliefs about money. Your limiting money beliefs will cause you to sabotage your growth at every level. And when you change your money beliefs, charging your worth just becomes easy. It becomes of course I would charge that, right? It's a complete shift in energy. So I want you to imagine what it would feel like to believe in your worthiness and be excited to set some big money goals, attract money in magical ways and know that you deserve to receive it. I want you to feel confident in sharing your prices with new dream clients that actually value what you do and accept your prices with ease. Imagine what it would feel like to get off that income roller coaster and finally feel like you can take a breath and actually take a break and get excited to open your online banking and think about all the ways that you can spend your money. I want you to feel excited for the future, knowing that your business and your life has the possibility to thrive from here on out. So would you like a step-by-step framework to shift your money blocks and attract the money that you finally deserve and finally get off that income roller coaster? I want you to know that I have it available for you. And I want to know if this is something that you want to work on. So please let me know in the chat. So the way that I see it is you have three options. You could either do nothing and continue to stress about money and work yourself into the ground, never knowing what you're capable of, or you can choose to do it yourself, which is possible. It takes a little bit of extra time. So you may waste a few months trying to change your thought patterns by doing affirmations and reading all the books and trying to implement everything that they teach. Or you can allow me to guide you through a step-by-step framework to transform your mindset and create the long-lasting change that you've been wanting. I want to introduce you to my new program, and I'm not going to say baby, but I'm so excited for it, the Energetics of Money. The Energetics of Money will take you from stressed, overworked, and from overcharging and overservicing to feeling confident to charge your worth, raise your prices, and push your income abundance to a whole new level. The Energetics of Money is a 6-week program which is designed to transform your money energetics, shifting old belief systems and changing your whole money identity so you can charge your worth, make more money, and help more people. Right? That's what it's all about. It's not about the money. The Energetics of Money is a 6-pillar framework. This is what I've been working with my clients over the past 4 years and perfecting it to try and basically create something that I can see that it will actually shifts everyone's belief systems, no matter who I work with, no matter what type of business they're in. And it will release the guilt and doubt that you feel about raising your prices. You'll elevate your self-worth so you can feel deserving to welcome more money into your life. And we'll use neuroscience-backed strategies that are proven to break through those blocks on a deep subconscious level so you can create that long-lasting change that just reading a book just can't do. You'll be able to, I'll teach you all the tools that I teach my clients on how to manage your mind so you can kiss the self-sabotaging habits goodbye. So over the 6 weeks, what we'll be covering are, the first one is money mindset. So we're going to uncover your current money identity, work out whatever blocks are stopping you and keeping you playing small, and shift it on a whole new level to start welcoming the abundance into your life. We're going to talk about then the emotional wealth. So as we went through those thresholds, that's the emotional wealth, right? So all our money is energy, and we've got to shift those emotional blocks, which are causing you to stay in fear and guilt, and start to cultivate an abundant vibration. So then you can start to confidently receive and circulate money. We'll then dive into wealth embodiment. We need to have the action piece into play. So I'm going to teach you practical tools, the money rituals and money-making activities that are all about embodying more wealth and abundance, that all those money actions is all about driving your results and be able to create and shift any self-sabotaging behaviors that are keeping you at the same income level that you're stuck at. The next one is all about developing your relationship with your money. The money thresholds, shifting all the generational blocks, changing your whole relationship with money so you can be different with money on a whole new scale. The next one is charging your worth. I'll do a whole module on this where you'll be able to stop over-servicing, over-delivering and overworking yourself and disconnect your self-worth from your business. We've got to disconnect it so you can confidently charge your prices and be certain of your value, because people buy certainty. They don't buy if you're stuck in a place of doubt and fear. And the last one is all about wealth alignment. So we bring it all together and develop a whole new level of permission and trust in the universe for providing for our needs. So we're going to create an inner and outer alignment so you can actually hit those high income months without sabotaging or doubting it. Does that sound good? I'm so excited for this. So the energetics of money is right for you is even if you've never done any mindset work before, it's totally fine. I'm going to support you in every stage. Even if you don't know what your money blocks are and you just know that you'd like to be more confident with money. If maybe you've read a few mindset books or money books and you've had some shifts, but you would like to take it to the next level, you may think that you're terrible with money and hate budgets. I'm not going to share a budget with you, I promise. I'm not going to make you look at an Excel spreadsheet, I promise. It's not about that. It's about the energy, your belief systems, and your mindset. Or you maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you're good with money, but you'd like to be able to feel better about having more of it, and you'd be able to take your business to the next level by, setting to that, like, who was it before that was saying like, that doesn't even exist for me? I want you to get to that place where you can actually dream big about money. And even if you're not spiritual or woo-woo, because I want you to know that this is not, I'm bringing in some manifestation pieces to it, but I'm also bringing the neuroscience back stuff, right? It's actually all based in science, and that's where the shifts actually start to change. Although I'm also very partial to the spiritual and woo-woo, because when you start working on money, honestly, so much magic happens. It's crazy. So I want you to know that energetics of money is not right for you if you want to keep avoiding your finances and keep hiding from your brilliance. That maybe you want to keep people pleasing and over servicing. You want someone else to come and save you or do it for you. It's not going to happen. Or maybe you're already consistently earning 15 to 20K months and you're kind of cool with that, right? So maybe it's like you're already at the place where you're already charging your worth and it's totally not the right fit for you. Let me share a little testimonial from Tanya. Tanya worked with me last year on a similar program, but this is the first time I'm running the energetics of money at this scale. So basically I ran a program called Elevate, and we did one module on money. And this is what Tanya had to say. Tanya was limiting herself and her growth and just generally getting in her own way. Her biggest breakthroughs were the mindset shifts, and she no longer felt like money mindset was limiting her anymore once we worked through it. She was playing small and her goals are much bigger now. She's been able to 6 times her business. Honestly, like she has gone great guns. And she's also loved, like the piece that she loved the most as well was the connection piece, right? That when we work alone, we don't get that connection, and actually you miss out on all of that. But also knowing that other people are experiencing the same thing that you're experiencing helps us to shift it. And once we see others shifting it, the possibility is so available to you as well. So when you join the energetics of money, you will receive, so there's 6 weekly Zoom live calls, so they're 90 minutes. It's a live coaching experience with mindset rewiring processes and mindset work. We do the work on the calls. So if there's any little bits of homework, there'll be like maybe 10 to 15 minutes worth of homework each week. So it's not overly, it's not all content based. I wanted to make sure that I bring a program that's actually going to shift it. And so at the end of the course, you're like, literally like, I'm a different person. That's what I want for you. And I wanted to make sure that this was what the energetics of money is all about. You'll also be provided with weekly guides and journaling prompts. So to be able to support and enhance your learning experience and to ensure the breakthroughs to be able to get you to that next level. You'll also have access to the energetics of money community, which is around the clock access to like-minded women in a cozy group space for further guidance and support. But it's not a Facebook group. It's actually a private community that you can access whenever you like. Now, as part of the bonuses, one of the bonuses will be that you'll actually receive a money rewiring audio, which is a 30-day audio that you listen to, which actually helps to rewire your beliefs on a subconscious level to help support the rewiring process and get you quicker results over the time that we work together. You'll also receive the client and money manifestation script that I mentioned earlier. So you'll receive that as well, which is a beautiful little bonus, which is, again, supporting that next level of growth for your mindset. So when you join the Energetics of Money, you get the full course content, which is valued at $2,600. You'll get the live weekly lessons in my Zoom room, the weekly guides and journaling prompts, round the clock access to the group, plus those 2 beautiful bonuses. So the value is sitting at $2,700, but that's not what I'm charging. This is the first time I'm going to be running this, so I've got a special price for you. This is also Danielle, who ran through one of my programs last year, and she worked through a massive, massive fear of increasing her prices last year and was able to double her bookings. And she's now already sold out this year, February, March, and was pretty much booked out April. I need to check actually where she's at. But you can basically, she is such a, honestly, my biggest advocate. She's constantly commenting on my stuff. So you can always go over to Instagram and you'll see her comments. How she actually shares all the different growth that she got from our work together. So this is where it starts. Right? This is where you get to say yes to actually shifting your money blocks on a whole nother level. So you can either do 2 different options. So you can get started for less. So 2 payments of $297, which is in Australian dollars. And you receive everything that we've just covered. So your full program, the money rewiring audio, your weekly guides and journaling prompts. You get 5 years access to any updates as well. So basically I'm going to, I'm going to run it once a year, and every single year, if I update the content, you'll get access to that as well as your script. Or you can pay in full and save, and it's the full price is $550 as an upfront payment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the link in the chat box now, and that way you can basically jump in and have a look at it all. Now I've got to find it. Hang on one second. Okay, where's the chat box? Here you go. Here's the link so you can head across and have a look as I take you through it. So the other reason I'm sharing this with you is that this is going to be at a never repeated founder's price. So next time I launch the Energetics of Money, the participants will be joining at a much higher price, not only because the value of this, of what I'm including in the next 6 weeks, far outweighs the price, but it's also because if you were to work with me with 6 sessions, you'd easily set you back at $2,600. So this is beyond, like, I'm putting everything into this program and I cannot wait to see the results it's going to create. Now, as a fast action bonus, for those of you who have jumped on live with me today, I want to thank you for that. And if you sign up in the next 24 hours, I'm going to give you a private one-on-one session for free, right? A 60-minute one-on-one coaching session valued at $350 to help you work on your deeper money mindset blocks. So if you sign up in the next 24 hours, you get access to that as well. So this is Suki. Suki is also one of my clients that's worked through her money mindset blocks, and she's now 100% more confident. As you jump through to the link, you'll see there's a little video where Suki actually shares her full experience, and you can listen to her tell you the impact that it's had on her business. She shifted her money blocks in such a dramatic way. She was actually making extremely inconsistent income and was questioning whether she was going to keep her business actually going, and was really challenged to be able to charge her worth. She went from way undercharging to now having an abundance of clients who pay her top package, which is around a $5,000 package, which is something she never dreamed was possible before we started doing this work. She was literally way undercharging, and she was such an expert in her field that when she was able to see the value in what she was creating, she shifted it on a whole new level. So if you're ready to make more money, but you don't want to work any harder, then the Energetics of Money is definitely for you. So we actually start next week. So I'm starting on Monday, the 22nd of February. The calls will be at 7 p.m. And the reason why I've chosen that time is because I really wanted to make sure that you have the time and space to actually really focus on it. And I didn't want you to have to go back into your work day afterwards, because we're going to be doing those shifts and those mindset releases, right? So afterwards, you're going to want to be able to relax. So that's the reason why I've chosen the 7 o'clock time slot. I want you to know it's really different to other products. So as you jump across to the link that I've shared in the chat box, you'll go through, and this is the first thing you'll see. You're ready to make more money without working any harder. And then it'll share with you some experiences of what it's going to be all about and how it's different from other programs. Then you'll come through to the payment plan section. So you can either choose your payment options. So that basically you hit sign up now. It then takes you to the payment page. So this is where it'll ask you to pop your name in, your email address, and it'll ask you to create a password. So the password will give you access to our portal, which is where all the information will be. So you get access to all your bonuses straight away, and you'll get access to the program as soon as we get started. So all of that, and the community, so you can jump in and introduce yourself straight away. So once you've taken yourself through the payment options, then you'll get access to the course portal. This is what the course portal will look like. So it'll have all of your options. So you'll have the first section there called the Energetics of Money, which is the full program, which is where you'll have access to all the content, but it's live. So I'm going to be creating it with you as we go. Okay. So the first call will be next Monday. And then the community is where you can jump in and introduce yourself and get to know the other people in the group, as well as then your bonuses will be on the right-hand side. Cool. So remember, the fast action bonus basically sets you up with a private coaching session, and you need to sign up by 7 o'clock tomorrow. So I've set it up because I'm doing another one of these tonight at 7 o'clock. It's giving you the option to basically, if you sign up by 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, you will get access to the complimentary coaching session with it as well. Okay. So what you get, the Energetics of Money program, is your 5 years access to the program with all updates, weekly guides and journaling prompts, client and money manifestation script, your money rewiring audio, and a one-on-one coaching session with me if you sign up in the next 24 hours. This is some of the feedback that I've received from some of my clients. You can see some of the messages that I get, just the impact that the money mindset work can have. So if this is something for you, then I'd love for you to jump in and be a part of it, and share with me if you have any questions in the chat box. I'm going to jump into some Q&A now. So if you have any questions about anything we've covered tonight, it doesn't have to be specific to the Energetics of Money, but you can ask anything, or if it is specific to the Energetics of Money, feel free to ask any questions. And I'm going to stop the thingy so you can see me, and I'm going to answer any questions that you may have. So jump into the chat box. If you do have any questions, you're more than welcome to drop them in the chat box. So I've had a couple sent to me privately. So when are the calls? So the calls are 7 o'clock each Monday night for 6 weeks straight. They're a 90-minute call. And like I said before, the reason why I've chosen the 7 o'clock is I want you to be able to really feel comfortable and have the time to relax after the session. Andrea said, will the lives be recorded? Absolutely. You will definitely have the recording. So if you can't make every single night on in the evening, then they'll definitely be recorded. They'll be uploaded into the course portal so that you can access them whenever you've got a moment. The doors close. So basically, the doors close on Friday. So this is only open to you because obviously we're getting started on Monday. So if you want to jump in, then now is the time. And then we basically are going to close doors on Friday. The bonuses, obviously the coaching session is only available for 24 hours if you sign up straight away. Yeah, I pretty much answered that question. So Danielle said, how much time should we set aside to complete the work? So majority of the work will actually be done on the calls. Okay, so we'll be uncovering some of the blocks. We'll be actually working through the mindset shifts and doing the processes on the calls. And then if there's any homework, so I've got some small little pieces of homework for you to do in between. Some of them are actually more awarenesses and practices that you put into place, but then no more than 5 to 10 minutes. The longest one is a writing activity that I give, which is 15 minutes. So that's as long as any extra homework. So it's not an extra workload. I really wanted to make sure of that because I know how busy you guys are. I'm just as busy. So I really wanted to make sure that you got that support and know that it's not heaps and heaps of work afterwards. I wanted to make sure the stuff was done on the calls. And yeah, you'll have guidance in the community. So if you have questions as you're going along, you just jump into the community and ask, and I'll be checking that obviously regularly. Awesome. Great question, Danielle. Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? You're more than welcome to actually unmute yourself as well if you prefer to ask there as well. Awesome. So Morgan said, thanks so much. My pleasure. If you have any questions about anything we've covered, honestly, I don't mind. I've set aside extra time to be here. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. Awesome. Thanks so much, Elaine. So glad you enjoyed it. And I hope it helped to shift some of the blocks that are currently keeping you stuck. And I hope you're able to see it from a different perspective, right? So when hopefully you took those screenshots. If you do want any screenshots of any of the slides, then just send me a DM on Instagram. I'm more than happy to share them with you because I'm going to send out the recording of this too. So you can always go back. I know I covered so much today. So if you do want anything, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'm going to send out the recording too. Lauren said, what was the 3 in the 7 energetic blocks? What was number 3? Okay, one sec. Number 3 was exchanging time for money, right? Rather than actually focusing on exchanging money for value or a result or an outcome, it was actually focused on, I'm going to charge this amount for this amount of time, right? If we keep ourselves stuck in that, we'll always be stuck to time. Whereas if you shift it, you're much more likely to focus on the result. Amazing. No worries, Elaine. Thank you. Thanks, Abby. All good. I know we're 10 past now, so I totally understand if you need to run. Number 6 was, you don't believe in the value that you have to offer, was number 6. Cool. Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for jumping on. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to send me a DM on Instagram as well. If you didn't want to ask it here, it's totally fine. Otherwise, I hope to see you all really soon and have an amazing day.